We're living it up.
Oh, no, we're live.
We're living it
There is a grace here, I promise. We hit live.
I
And then
am a disembodied boy.
Kaylee was really adorable and very sweetly and very quietly reminded us that we forgot something for her.
She's like, it's treat time.
She gets a greenie off-brand.
Ooh, they smell like fish food. I never realized that greenies smell like fish food.
Well, they're not actually greenies, so.
Oh, no, but I think that's like just.
Yeah, probably. But she gets one every time.
It's like when you get a whiff of the dog food. It's like, man, that's pungent.
Yeah. To be fair, there's fish in her dog food, so that makes sense.
Oh, I guess that's true. And she's the same thing as the boys.
Yeah. Oh, did you see her trying to sniper that?
You want to? I deal with 20th level snipers.
She is now placated. The dog is now happy.
All right. I guess I should pull up my notes, huh?
Probably. I mean, you could probably just
just go off the top of my head.
Just
that's what I kind of. Sometimes I do that. Surprise, surprise.
Sometimes I do that too. I barely write any notes down.
No notes at all.
Nope. Right off the top, my prawn.
I know what that means.
Prawn.
All right. Anything before I take us to air?
I can't think of anything that has happened of note that wouldn't be for everyone. I'm trying to run through this week.
We are primed for some. Oh no, that's for everybody too. Just kidding.
Yep. Okay.
Just kidding.
We're on 193.
193.
Oh, I got it right. I think that's the first time I've ever guessed it right.
I'm so impressed. Okay. 1, 2.
Welcome to episode 193 of There's No Place Like Terra, Stargate First Watch Rewatch Podcast. I am Nixie.
And I'm Grace. And today we are going over SGA Season 2, Episode 1, The Siege Part 3, a.k.a. A Fate Worse Than Death.
Oh.
Although I misspelled everything, so I almost said it as I spelled it.
Mine was, and I don't know why this came to my head, but I just went, explosions in the sky. Go twice as high.
Take a look. It's in a
cloak.
Wraith ship.
Take a look. The city's in a cloak. We're hiding Atlantis.
I'm trying to find like a way to throw Deadless in there. But my
John
brain's not
can fly anywhere.
Yeah, my brain's like, I'm out today. I don't know who you're talking to, but I'm not helping you.
I'm really proud I came up with pretty much all of that stuff in my head.
I'm super impressed. I will warn everybody today that my brain has been on strike for a solid week. I think I texted Nixie one day when I was like, I'm in bed. I missed class today. I have to be at work in an hour and I have not showered. My brain is saying no this week.
Everybody has those weeks.
Everybody has shit weeks.
That is your brain going, chill the fuck out, lady.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done. Remember the time that you pushed me to like 11 for the entire of your life?
There was just the largest truck in the world going by the window, and in the headphones, it was like the world was ending.
It was coming for us.
Yeah.
It was just going to come into the house.
I was like, are you about to send a truck through the house?
Yep, that was the plan.
It was, yeah. Okay.
Before we get the show on the road.
Yes.
I think we should tell the people.
Yes.
About the excellent thing that happened yesterday.
Are you talking about the thing that happened here?
Yes.
The thing that I helped lead?
Nixie did a thing.
Nixie led
a team of explorers.
Yes. So we last night did a nice little mini play test, I think, for both me and the 3
in the group,
playees that were able to attend out of the 5 players. We did a play test of the brand new D&D campaign that we are starting, that I am DMing. Descent into Avernus.
Boom.
Boom.
Come for us, bitches. It was great times.
It's it's a thing, learning how to DM for the first time.
Well, it's cool because you've got some seasoned players, some newish players. We're kind of run the gamut.
Yeah, and I have my seasoned DM
as one of the players.
Who I can easily, like, because I get the whole fact of, you know, it's DM rules, I get to make the house rules, but when it comes to like just straight up D&D like knowledge,
yeah, like, this is years and years and years and years of just stored information,
exactly,
in places where you should have things like how to do laundry. Domestic partner boyfriend Jesse knows the rules,
what the conditions are if you're prone and someone tries to attack you.
Or can you escape a grapple using a shove attack?
Yes.
But we also had, it was fun to test him out because I know bartender Nick was trying out a brand new class.
He's playing completely against character.
Yeah, and he's doing great.
He normally is just hack and slash barbarian, maybe a ranger at the most. He's going straight up druid.
Yeah, he's smacking guidance all over the damn place.
Smacking guidance around. He's Circle of the Moon.
He's learning how concentration spells work.
He's lots of beast forming.
Oh yeah. And I decided to be a butthole and pick a class that doesn't exist.
But it's fun.
But it's, you know, it's someone's homebrew, and I was like, can I do this, please, please, please? It's
and really I was
fun.
like, sure. Oh.
I'm basically just a luchador.
Yeah, essentially.
Basically just a WWE fighter.
My personal favorite so far is two of the names, whereas you have Jesse has picked a name that's so long it puts Percy on Critical Role to shame, that I think is 7 names long.
I just know that there's a Waylon and there's a Wiggins.
I'm just gonna call him Willard. Like, I don't even remember his first name right now, which is because
I think it's Waylon.
Yeah, it is. I know. Yeah. And then Nick has decided to name his character Eric. However,
the X's are silent.
It's spelled XAIXRC.
The X's are silent.
No, wait. X.
It's an X in the front and an X at the back.
It's not an X at the end. It's XARXIK.
The X's are silent.
The X's are legit silent because he couldn't figure out how to pronounce it with the X's.
He's like, I randomly looked up a name on like the name generator. How do I say this? And we're like, you decide. It's your name.
He goes, Eric.
Yeah, done.
And he's your half brother.
It's my half brother. Meanwhile, I have a normal name, like a normal people. My girl's named Rosie, and she's a tiefling badass motherfucker who's like, okay, everybody's taking too long to think. I'm gonna walk ahead.
Yep.
Right into fucking shit.
I mean, you only poked one thing,
and even
Waylon almost poked the other thing.
I was smart enough to poke it with a crowbar.
You were.
She carries none weapons. I guess
except her fists.
Yeah.
She's very bow-like in that way.
We found a thing called a pugilist. I don't know who wrote it. I'd love to give credit to them. I have no idea where it came from.
I have it probably written down somewhere, but I don't remember it.
But y'all, it is great. I mean, we're only level 2, but so far it is great.
Yeah, I just kind of skipped level 1 because no one wants to play level 1 characters.
But that's the D&D roundup for the week.
Yeah. So we did. I did because they wanted to play test their characters out, and they had a little sort of backstory thing. So I just kind of wrote a little mini dungeon, a one-night mini dungeon for people to test out their skills. That was fun. And as any good, intro starter classic D&D dungeon, it ended with a mimic.
Yeah, sure. Everything's fine. Hey, no one died. I came close.
No one died.
Did not die.
Some DM gives plenty of health potions around.
Thank goodness for that.
Because it's not any fun otherwise.
Thank goodness for a short rest as well.
Do we have anything else?
No, let's get
July 15th, 2005.
Because I just remembered after I record this, I get to watch SG1. Okay. I'm here. I am present.
You have to be here for Atlantis first.
I'm here. I am being where my feet are.
So this was written by Martin Garrow, directed by Martin Wood. It's The Martin Show.
Martin.
We see Ellie Harvey back as Dr. Lindsay Novak.
Yes.
A little less hiccupy this time.
I really, really need her and McKay to find each other. I really need that to happen. I don't know if it's still an option, but I need them. And the thing is, I don't need them to smoothly be like, oh, you're smart too. I'm smart too. No, I want them to run into each other in the cafeteria
and just bumble fuck their way through
what the fuck? You took the last sandwich. I need that sandwich because I'm working on this important thing.
And I'm hypoglycemic.
And blah, 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 blah. And she's like, I've been dealing with Hermiod. Or blah, blah,
Blood sugar.
Yeah. And then secretly they love each other. Okay, that's all.
But super more excited. Mitch Pileggi.
What?
It's Mitch Pileggi.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's Colonel Stephen Caldwell.
I'm an idiot. Okay, got it. I'm
who
an idiot.
Obviously, I think the top line of any story written about Mitch Pileggi includes Walter Skinner in X-Files, who, that's where I first saw him.
Uh-huh.
And because I was such a young and impressionable age when I met Walter Skinner for many years, maybe still now.
Can I tell you that's how tired I am? I forgot he was in the episode. I was like, oh, right, the captain of the fucking Deadlist.
But Skinner is, and sort of quasi still is sort of like my archetype of federal agent. Not Mulder, because it's Mulder.
Yeah.
I mean, Dana Scully is as well, but
yeah.
Like Skinner was, the man.
Sure. He started the from the ground up guy.
So
I dig it.
And the thing that Wiki told me that I didn't know is he actually his dad was a defense contractor, so he a long time growing up in Turkey for most of his growing up.
I want to grow up somewhere cool. I like finding out that people had crazy lives.
Yeah.
Did you know that Andrew Zimmern's dad was a madman?
No.
Like his dad legitimately was a Madison Avenue madman, and he made Canada Dry.
Can I tell you on a side note?
A real deal.
That this is a thing that legitimately just happened.
Uh-huh.
I didn't.
Andrew Zimmern? Did you forget who Andrew Zimmern was?
Nope. I just now made the connection as to why Mad Men were called Mad Men.
Oh, because of Madison Avenue?
I love that series. I've seen this twice. I've heard about Mad Men. I just now put the connection between Madison Avenue and Mad Men.
As people who work in branding, I'm going to not tell anybody in the world that. And I expect all of you to keep Nixie's shameful secret as well.
Shit, did not put two together.
They're Mad Men.
Oh my God.
And you know who coined the phrase? They did, because they were branding fucking masters.
I feel like I need to put more alcohol in this.
Sure, let's do it. Do you want me to run up and get some while you say words?
I wouldn't be against it.
Okay, which alcohol?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be back, guys.
There's two in the kitchen too.
Okay.
So
keep going.
Okay, one of Mitch Pileggi's early films, actually, and I would also like to know if Grace says, I'm assuming she's seen it, is Wes Craven's Shocker.
I have not watched Shocker.
She has not seen Shocker.
Actually, can you hear me on the mic?
Huh?
Can you hear me on the mic from here?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, you should just say no. There's nothing in it yet because I can't find the alcohol. You should just say that you can't hear me. Otherwise, I'm going to get up all the time.
It should be right behind where all the drinks are.
There's just soda streams there.
Oh, I put them over where the bar is. Guys, this is absolutely fantastic podcast footage going on right now.
I wish you could see me running around.
So anyways, he played bad guy in Shocker. And Nick has watched lots of Sons of Anarchy. So I saw him on that and was like, I know him. It's Walter Skinner. And also it's Colonel Caldwell. And he's done some voice acting as well. He, on The Batman, he's Commissioner Gordon. So that's cool. Because...
Hi, Batman. Wait, on the animated version?
Yeah, The Batman.
Oh.
He's Commissioner Gordon.
I'm going to give you one ice cube.
I have booze. More booze. And he currently has a recurring role in Supergirl. And fun fact, he was on the original Dallas, and then he was on the new Dallas.
Wait, there was a new Dallas?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
I didn't realize that.
It was on, I think, TNT or some...
I wonder if, the rule now is, there's less shows that have not been remade versus shows that have been remade. What should we remake?
Do you want to know what I want remade? legit when I like part of me doesn't want it remade because I want it to stay untouched because it's a very touchstone thing.
Okay.
However, I also a little part of me wants to be remade just because I think you could have some really cool, again, social commentaries and the show would make me happy. You could bring in a lot of really cool guest stars.
Sure.
Fucking Quantum Leap.
So Jesse and I, not the same, but in the same time frame.
Okay.
We want to remake The Greatest American Hero.
Ooh,
I think we may have talked about this.
That's good.
We're remaking The Greatest American Hero. It's done.
That's good.
Guys, I'm wiggling now. I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
Previously on Stargate Atlantis, Ray!
Everything is fucky.
Taylor has some wraith powers, and then the SGC sent some reinforcements led by Colonel Everett, and some very beautiful, very horrible battle scenes occurred. And then Everett's mad at John for putting Sumner out of his torments, and then some wraith, and then John's very bad idea, but very good idea to destroy some ships by flying himself and a bomb into it. And then the wraith attacked Everett, and Taylor's missing, and Ford is trapped. Cool. Everyone up to speed. So we start the episode with Ford on the balcony. Everyone opens fire.
Everyone is dying.
Everyone is dying. And both sides. And it comes down to Ford is the last man standing. Nice. And the wraith pushes him to the balcony. And right as he starts to feed on Ford, one of the other Marines pulls out a grenade, rolls over to the side of the balcony. Boom! And we just see Ford and the wraith tumbling, crash into the ocean. And there is not a door floating in the ocean big enough for both of them. Meanwhile, John is flying into the Wraith ship when someone comes over the radio to tell him to decloak immediately, gives him an authorization code, which seems to be correct because John's like, uncloak.
I'm impressed that at that moment in time, with that much going on, that your brain can register a correct code. You can say anything to me in a moment of panic, and I'm like,
basically. But this is why you are not,
this is fair.
John Sheppard.
I think in a situation like that, it takes so much control to come out of like, no, I've made this decision and I'm going forward.
Yeah. I will be honest, I'm pretty sure my reaction, if I was in the situation, it'd be much closer to McKay than Zelenka.
Oh yeah. I think I would go with John Sheppard. I'd be like, look, if someone's gonna die, it's gonna be me because I don't want to deal with the aftermath.
I'm just in terms of handling the pressure. You've seen when I work, I'm a very vocal talker.
Oh yeah.
While I work.
Yeah.
I like to talk things out. So yeah, I'm definitely more the McKay in terms of you want to see how far you can get me to snap, and then as I'm working and getting the shit done, but I'm basically threatening the air around me.
I like it. No, I think I understand where Sheppard's coming from. It's not the idea of being the hero. It's like that. I don't want to be the one left in the aftermath.
Yes.
It's a little bit almost selfish.
Yeah.
It's selfless and selfish at the same time.
Yep.
It's kind of for me, it comes from that space of like growing up the sick kid. Like I'd rather be the sick kid than the one worried about the sick kid.
Yeah.
100 times over.
I hear that.
Yeah.
In the Atlantis control room, McKay finishes the countdown. And on the screen and outside with a large explosion, we see the Wraith ship be destroyed.
Yay!
Everyone with the assumption that John is still on that jumper.
Again, we
looks about as you would imagine they look when one of your best friends has just sacrificed himself.
Every time someone we think is dead, I'm going to sing that I Will Remember You.
It's only appropriate.
The Sarah McLachlan, I Will Remember You.
To be fair, is that basically the only Sarah McLachlan song people remember?
No, the other one is In the Arms.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, can I tell you that part of my head thought they were the same song?
They basically are. You can throw in like a
lot
I thought
they were just different
ballads.
Verses of the
you
same.
You could throw in like Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On. You could throw in And I Will Always Love You.
We're just going to make one mega heartstring pull. Yeah.
A mega ballad.
So Chuck then sees another ship on the radar. It's not a hive ship. He's getting an IFF, which, if you didn't know, is Identification Friend or Foe, is what IFF stands for.
I like that.
It's sort of like
start answering the phone that way.
Well, it's sort of like a radio tag that you can. It's like a radio flasher going friendly.
Nice.
Don't fire.
What's your IFF? I don't think that's how you use that, but that's how I'm going to use it anyway.
That's not how that works. And then John radios in.
I'm just going to answer the phone. Friend or foe?
That's better.
Yeah.
John radios in, because, I mean, how many other Sheppards do you know?
Sure.
But after some more...
But, it's a kind of common name, so back off.
Well, John is.
Yeah.
Some more. Another voice pops in. It is Colonel Stephen Caldwell. And then I lost my spot. He is the commander of the Daedalus, and they are ready to assist wherever they are needed.
Oh, I just remembered what my other AKA is.
Yeah.
Daedalus is hard to spell. It is so hard taking notes on this episode because Daedalus is hard to spell.
Trust me, I know. I don't think it's spelled the same way anywhere in my notes. And if any group has ever breathed a bigger sigh of relief, and they abort the self-destruct.
Yay.
McKay perks up right after almost drifting asleep when Caldwell is like, hey, I have a present for you. Would you like a ZPM?
I like things.
And Carson's actually more stunned at the whole like Asgard beaming technology.
Yeah.
It's a nice reminder that like not everyone knows that exists.
Sure. Yeah, I guess that's true. They wouldn't have any knowledge of like Asgardy things.
Yeah. And as McKay pulls the rare treasure from the loot box, he's like, let's go get the shields working.
I feel like at this point he's probably so tired. He's like, can I put this in me? Yeah. Can I just like arc reactor this thing right into my heart? Because ow.
And meanwhile, Daedalus is going to help take care of the one last hive ship. And we get our first great shot of Daedalus flying in, a little beefier than Prometheus.
Oh, yeah. And then with her awesome fucking shield, and she can shoot through her shield. Yeah. What the fuck?
And like an awesome space dogfight, the first of two, happens.
So I want a shield.
Credits.
That has a hole.
Yep.
For my arrows.
Okay.
I'm going to make a ranger that works that way.
Okay.
Like little arrow slit.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Where nothing can get in, but I can get out through.
Just one little, well, here's what you could probably, Sam build shit. Okay. Yes. So Sam has a crossbow.
Yes.
I want to do a thing, but then the end of the crossbow, build a shield in with the little thing, and then there's a little scope hole up top, and you have your little arrow slit bolt hole underneath, and then it like folds, so you can use it as a regular shield, and they can fold up the crossbow part.
Yes.
I mean, Sam likes to build shit.
I like it.
That's my gnome Sam, not Sam Carter, although inspired by Sam Carter. D&D.
She also likes to build things.
She does.
And destroy them.
So when we get back from credits, we see a little overlap with the scene that we saw last week with the Wraith attacking Everett, and he's definitely fed upon.
Yeah.
And eventually that Wraith is killed from behind by one of his Marines on the ground. Space dogfight, and we learn that Novak has moved to the Daedalus from the Prometheus. Also, there's an Asgard aboard.
Yay!
Hermiod.
We've seen Hermiod at least like a couple times before, right?
I don't remember. I don't think we've seen Hermiod.
Okay. Just kidding.
We've seen some other ones.
Okay. Just kidding. I keep thinking the one that Janet voiced was Hermiod.
Yeah, no, that is not.
Okay. I'll find
I don't remember which one that is, but it is not Hermiod. And
I'm gonna find out.
He goes, reminder people, the ship is not as strong without the ZPM. And Caldwell's like, well, fucking duh. By the way, Hermiod, which is the Norse mythology inspiration for Hermiod's name, because it kind of translates, it's, names translate and drift and shit.
Sure.
But he is the son of Odin and is often depicted as the messenger of the gods.
Oh.
So in the Prose Edda, which is like, the big poetic mythology storyness.
The big guy.
After Baldur died, like all the gods were so grief-stricken and in mourning that they just couldn't, like they were speechless. They couldn't do anything.
Okay.
So Frigg, who is Baldur's mom, was like, hey, does someone want to volunteer to go down to hell to bring him back? And if you do, you will get all of my love and all of my favor. So Hermiod is like, I'm in, yo. So he rode down to hell. He got to ride. He was told to like ransom for Baldur, but he got to ride Odin's horse.
Okay.
Down to hell, which is kind of a big honor.
Yeah.
You know?
That's kind of a big deal. It's like borrowing like your super cool like
Yeah.
car, like the really nice one. It's like, can I please take the nice car?
So he got there and he gets to the hall in hell. He meets Hell because, again, Hell is the dude that lives in hell, like the kind of the same one and the same.
Hemdall. That's who she plays.
Yes, Hemdall.
Sorry.
Close. I can.
I had an H.
It's an H.
I don't know my way around Norse mythology. Okay.
Basically, Balder was there in an honorable place. His wife's also there, and Hell's like, I am not fucking letting him go.
Whoa.
You can't have him back. I don't care that the gods are crying and in mourning. I want everything living and dead to weep for him.
Damn.
To get him back.
Those hell people are usually pretty awful.
Yeah, needless to say, instead of coming back with Balder, he came back with his ring, which I'm not going to try to pronounce, and some other gifts.
I want to see it.
Draupnir.
Draupnir. I don't know. I give up.
Draupnir. Sure. And other gifts and stuff like
This
that.
must be super fun.
Also, he's in the Thor comics as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So upon John's recommendations.
So it's not voiced by someone fun.
No.
Okay, just kidding.
He is voiced by a very, like, pedigreed, like, long IMDb voice actor.
Oh, I just like the ones that are like, and also it happens to be.
Yeah, no, it's not
Things.
anyone else from Stargate. It's just an amazing voice actor, and I didn't write his name.
It's actually McKay.
Nope. So upon John's recommendation, Caldwell sends some large warheads into the Wraith fighter bay. Extra explosions happen, and because hit there.
Yeah.
Chain reaction. But the two missiles are taken out. Like, darts don't just hit them.
They're like, no.
Darts just kind of run into them to
they
explode
go like
them
full
early.
Sentinel. They're like, no, you hit me first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like miles from the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So John asks why the Asgard gave him like hyperdrives and awesome shields, but no weapons. And Caldwell's like, well, apparently they didn't want to give other races anything they could potentially use against them.
I feel like Caldwell's reaction is like, you really don't know anything about the Asgard, do you?
A, that. B, part of me wants to say that that's Caldwell's rationale of why, because that does not seem like a very Asgardian.
I mean, they're always like trying to find the loopholes on how to help because they feel like they're not supposed to help.
Well, I feel the actual reason why they're not giving us weapons is probably more of like a Tolan situation.
Okay.
Where they're like, yeah, we're going to give you the guns and you're going to fuck up and kill yourselves.
Yeah.
More of that reason.
Yeah. We don't trust you. You're dumb fucks.
Yeah, it's not trusting you because you're going to hurt us. It's more not trusting because you're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah. You don't give a child fire.
But Caldwell thinks it's so we don't kill them.
Yeah. Caldwell thinks very highly of the human race.
Also, I love how loungy Caldwell gets in his captain's chair. He's very Kirkian.
You know what? He's been traveling how many light years? Go for it, dude. Get comfy.
So in the control room, McKay is trying to explain things to Zelenka that he already knows, which I get. I've done the same thing before. As McKay heads out, he's a little underwhelmed that he only has 2 Marines to help protect him through the city, where there's also Wraith. And he tells them that if shit goes down, you need to put your lives on the line to save me. I mean, ZPM.
Protect the squishy.
At all costs.
You know, that's what you do, though. It's very smart. So think of the most valuable thing and then be like, hey, look, I have the most valuable thing. Because then you get all the protection. I like it.
And then Chuck comes to tell Weird that they lost contact with a bunch of people, including Talon Ford. And I love that the camera flipping that they do in this episode.
Yeah.
The Steadicam work is so cool.
They're definitely put the action back into this episode, even though it's not like the big fight scene episode.
Yeah.
So they somehow keep you still in that moment.
100%. On the Daedalus, which in the second part of the mythology according to Stargate, Daedalus is
he the one who flew too close to the sun?
He's the father of Icarus.
Oh, Icarus is the one who flew too close to the sun.
Yep. You were so close.
I know it. Okay.
So he's the father of Icarus in Greek mythology. He is an
Yes.
amazingly skilled craftsman,
Yes.
inventor. He is essentially a D&D artificer. And he's seen as a symbol of like wisdom, knowledge, power.
Yeah, and innovation.
He built the labyrinth for King
Yep.
Minos.
Yes.
Minos.
Uh-huh.
Which one
It's
is
for
it?
the Minotaur.
Minos? Minotaur, Minos.
Minos.
Because I think it's Minotaur or Minos. Anyway, and right after he finished said labyrinth, so he couldn't tell anyone the secret to the labyrinth, King Minos just locked him up.
Yeah.
And some say inside the labyrinth himself, and some say in a tower with his son Icarus.
Interesting.
So in order to escape said tower or labyrinth, he made wings out of wax. So either completely out of wax, or he kind of like used feathers and just used sort of wax as the glue.
Yeah. So the way I remember the story from when I was little was that he used the wax to hold them together.
Yeah, the feathers and everything. And so him and his son escape with these wax and feather wings. As we know, one of the two flew too close to the sun.
Because he was not wise like his father Daedalus.
And the wax melted. Instead of staying low to the ocean where the currents and the water would keep the wax cool. Needless to say, his son died. And in one story later, Athena actually came down and gave him real wings.
Oh.
And he eventually came to Sicily. And, you know, all this complicated travel, because King Minos was like, fuck you.
Yeah. And there was no fast travel back then.
And so eventually he came looking for Daedalus. He found where he was hanging out with some king. And he tries to catch up with him. And basically, the story that I like is that somehow I think the king was like, yeah, sure, we'll deal with you, but why don't you go take a bath first? You've been traveling for a while.
Yeah.
And then Daedalus killed him by pouring boiling water on him.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But also Daedalus was really proud, a little too proud of his work, and was kind of afraid of someone overtaking him. So when his nephew showed really great skills that might be better than him, he just had him killed.
Dude, that's not cool.
But he credit for like inventing all of the things.
Yeah. He didn't follow his own advice at the end there.
No.
It's like, hey, don't let your pride. Don't fly too close to the sun. Don't be a dick. Basically, everything boils down to don't be a dick.
Yeah.
And don't have such a dumb name that's hard to spell.
To be fair, it was probably not hard to spell back then.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. So anyway, on the Daedalus, John wants to know why they can't just beam a bomb to the ship, since missiles aren't getting anywhere near the ship.
Sure.
And Caldwell's like, yeah, there's failsafe, so we don't use the beaming technology as a weapons delivery platform.
Damn it.
John's like, did the Asgard write those failsafes? Because you have one of those.
Rewrite the code.
And like, his ass is grass as much as ours.
Yeah. So maybe we can't use it, but he can use it.
So Caldwell calls down to Novak and he's like, yeah, figure out how to do that.
I love that Novak is the one that has to do the Asgard negotiations.
And especially because she's like, yeah, no. He's not gonna be down for that.
Well, it's funny too because she's not who you would think of as your negotiator.
Yeah.
She's like always so stressed about it. But in a lot of ways, she thinks like the Asgard do. They're very matter-of-facty. They're just like, no, this is just the science, the end, bye.
Yeah.
So maybe in that sense, she's appropriate. I don't know. But she just always, like, they just push her into these jobs where it's like, why are you making her do this?
Part of me is also kind of thinking that, like, Hermiod had heard all this.
Oh, yeah.
And was just like,
yeah.
Fine, didn't technically take too much convincing on poor Novak's part.
Right. I just feel bad for Novak because they put her in these positions where she's like, I am uncomfortable.
I am not paid for this.
This is not what I'm good at.
Caldwell gives no fucks about what Hermiod thinks of the situation. Just get it done.
Yeah.
And super glad I'm not Novak.
Super cool.
Back on Atlantis, McKay and two Marines are quickly stealthing through the city.
I say stealthing is a bit of a stretch for what McKay's doing. Walking is fine.
Okay, Marines are stealthing.
Yeah.
McKay is
the loudest human on Earth.
Kind of failed his stealth check, and the other
McKay-
two are trying to help him.
McKay is me when I come home from work and I'm mad at Jesse because we know that I work late nights and I pretend to try to be quiet, but I'm mad.
Everyone knows
it's
that.
Midnight.
Everyone knows that.
Oh,
the deal.
that move where you're just like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I wake you?
Oh, I tripped.
I are mad at you. Oh, is this light hurting your eyes? I'm sorry. I don't want to find my PJs in the dark. And then it's like, I'm up. Are you mad? It's like, no, I'm fine now.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
But also, spoilers in our house, we pretty much call it out and go, yes, I'm mad at you. I love you, but I'm mad at you.
I aggressively love you. So they see the wraith right in the direction they have to go. So McKay stage whispers loudly. As stealthy as Haley is usually.
Sure.
And so they hide. One Marine has signals to the other Marine. And McKay's like, I didn't get all that. What am I supposed to do?
I'm really good at the rolling. That's my favorite part.
I'm really good at the rolling. So the Marine
he practices, like, he goes into Taylor's, like, combat.
Yeah.
Because it's got the soft mats. And he's just like, I'm going to practice my rolling. And they're like, okay.
Rolling, right. So the Marines hand signals to McKay to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And again, fantastic camera work as they lure one wraith out, take it down. The second one comes, and the other Marine takes him out from behind. It is fantastic, and they're clear. And just as they're about to move, they're not actually clear because both Marines are then taken down by a wraith stunner. And it's just McKay against a wraith. This is how it's gonna be. And then there's a second wraith.
And he gets real brave.
And then you want some of this, and he takes out a sidearm. And he's very brave, and the music is very intense, and he faces off against two wraith on his own, and instead of firing the gun, he ejects the cartridge, which falls to the ground, and he yells in panic into the radio.
He rolls a net one.
That is 100% a net one. And from behind, both wraith are quickly killed by Taylor, who comes in to save the day.
In that moment, McKay's like singing to himself. He's like, I will
remember me.
I love that we both.
Taylor's radio was broken. That's why she's been out of contact. She does
He's
stop.
Like, I used it as a shield because I'm a badass, and then I threw it at a wraith and killed him.
Probably. She probably does the same move that Ford does later.
Yeah. So whatever I need to throw.
She does stop and points out how very brave McKay was.
Oh, sure. She knows he needs that ego.
To be fair, that actually was.
She didn't say smart. She said brave.
Exactly. That was brave. I probably wouldn't have just stood there.
This is why, how, as much as I don't love using guns, if I have one, I'm going to know how to use it.
Yeah, I would probably pull
If you're going to carry it, know how to use it.
Listen, if I'm living on Atlantis, I'll learn how to use a gun.
It's fair.
If I know life-sucking wraith are coming at me.
Yeah. Give me all the guns.
Yeah. But so they lead the way. She leads the way in the lead to the shield station with the ZPM.
Yay.
In the engine room of the Daedalus, Hermiod is not happy, but Novak has the timer on the bomb set to 5 seconds. The plan is ready. Caldwell doesn't care that Hermiod isn't happy.
We're doing what we do.
And they beam the weapon over. And I love that Novak starts the countdown, and Hermiod is like, fuck this. Just beams it over anyway.
Gotta go now.
And Hermiod curses under his breath, which is actually... When will these humans learn their consequences to action, but in reverse?
Oh, wow.
They just like dubbed it backwards.
Never.
No, never.
We don't.
Have you met humans?
No, we don't foresight well.
No.
We don't. No. History is cyclical. We are doomed. I feel like stay with me here. I know no one's doomed. Maybe some of you. No judgment. No one here is.
Yeah, absolutely none.
So, in the future,
in the year 3000,
millions of years from now, when they tell the fable of humans, it's basically the story of Sisyphus.
Oh,
We will be
100%.
doomed to repeat the same mistakes over and over. And right now, they seem so different because we're so tight in the timeline.
Mhm.
But when you squish it all together, it's like, look, they just keep doing the same thing over and
It's just
over
the same
and
thing,
over.
expecting different results.
Enslave a people, try to take things over. War. Enslave a people, try to take things over.
Look
War.
how it just keeps
They
happening.
just keep doing it. Look how dumb they are.
So this on a tangent reminds me of something I did want to mention before we started, and I forgot. Okay. So Star Wars is coming out in a couple months.
Wait,
I believe it's 44 days away. Ish. Something around that. When we're recording, it's 44. I'm not excited at all. I don't already have tickets.
Yeah.
So I have ranted, I will say, against some of the people who are like, this is ruined Star Wars. This isn't, don't like the story, and they're killing it. And I was like, I know in my head pretty much how this is going to end. Star Wars is based on repetitive mythology. It's always the same stories that repeat itself generation after generation. That's the entire fucking point of Star Wars. And they have all these complicated ways they think this is going to end. And I'm like, no.
It never changes.
It's the same thing. And they like,
it's the same.
They think, they're like, well, I hope that doesn't end that way because I won't be satisfied. Okay, listen, if you need to go, and I will post it, the Freddie Prinze Jr. rant on his own podcast, where he just went off, and it is beautiful. And I love his inclusion of many, many curse words. It is Nixie approved. But he's like, this story's for fucking children. Each set of each trilogy is written for fucking children of that day. Of course it's the same mythology that repeats itself. It's the same story. That's the whole point. You have grown up. Star Wars does not end up growing up.
Right.
And so he's like, I've heard this from George Lucas himself, from Dave Filoni. That is how shit works. And he says it in this beautiful, you have to watch it. I've done a very poor job summarizing
I've watched it. And
yes.
I'm listening to you. And the thing is, this is going to sound...
Go for it. No, so go for it. I happen to share an opinion with him.
He loses me when he cites George Lucas, because George Lucas has lost sight of what he was trying to do in the beginning. But it's fine. I get all the other parts.
Yeah. I mean, he also quotes Dave Filoni.
Yeah. He just loses me there. And I don't think we have to think of it as written just for children. I think we can all enjoy it and understand that patterns happen.
That part I totally get. It's not only for children.
Yeah.
It's just the concept of it is repetitive mythology. Right. Because it's obviously more than just for children.
Well, the idea is that it's told in the. I think what he means is it's told in the way of a fable.
That's what I mean.
And I think that's the hard part too, because words can be interpreted the wrong way.
Yes.
And I think that's what my problem is.
Yeah.
It's that his passion is there. I think he means the right thing, but his words are not as clear as I would have liked them to be.
And I use words like he uses words as just blunt instruments to reinforce my own.
Yeah.
I don't pretend that I'm
no, that's
word usage, which is why I'm like, I get what he's trying to say, and I'm like, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the problem is I say it in the same way as he does.
It's just open to too much interpretation.
Yes.
That's my concern.
Which is why I was like, you say the thing that I say in the same way that I say it. Go you.
Yay, words.
Anyway.
I think I'd love to have the conversation further and find some clarity. There's not enough clarity in it for me. That's what it is. That's all. I would love a little more clarity before I decide.
Is how my repetitive mythology Sisyphus up a hill turned into a Star Wars rant.
Where were we? Where am I?
No, I remember where we were. The bomb explodes.
Okay, got it.
And the ship goes boom. And this is announced in the Atlantis control room. There's no more hive ships in orbit.
Yay.
Before they can prep another warhead. Oh, sorry. There's one more ship in orbit. Yeah, sorry. Before they can prep another warhead to do the same thing, all the small cruisers run.
Yeah.
That was the last. That was the last hive ship. I've lost count.
There's a lot of hive ships.
There's all the
this is
smaller
when they start
cruisers.
To gather. right before they start to gather.
Yeah, so it's not that there's more Hive ships left. It's all the escorts, the smaller ones.
Yep.
Those all run.
Yes.
So now it's just cleanup of the darts.
Mm-hmm.
But the darts actually form up.
This is where the Deadless has to go into Deadless maneuvers.
Yeah, it's not coming for Daedalus.
No.
And Atlantis has a problem, which Atlantis can see. All of the ships are heading straight for Atlantis at top ballistic speed.
Yeah.
Daedalus can't get there in time.
They're just going full like kamikaze pilots, right?
100%. Zelenka explains they're going to hit the city at over 10,000 kilometers an hour.
Wowza.
Nothing will be left of the city.
Holy crap.
They have 45 seconds.
That's fine. That's plenty of to go pee and then come back and then figure out what you're going to do.
So we're radios to McKay that they need the shield in 40 seconds or they're dead, you know. So that's not good.
Yeah.
And McKay is like, come the fuck on. Are you kidding me?
McKay is like the lady running from the bad guy in the horror movie and trying to get the key in the keyhole. And it's so hard and it's scary right now and I don't know what I'm doing.
And he's like, you want to find the stress point where I completely snap? And he's trying to get the ZPM.
Like, snap.
And it lights up, so it should be good. And Zelenka's like, no, not good.
Yeah.
Not working. 20 seconds. And he's like, really? Okay, fucking snap. And he like pushes all his weight down onto the ZPM.
And he's like, oh, hey, I did it.
And at the very last possible second, the shield raises, covering the city with a beautiful magical shimmer the darts rain down hellfire upon it.
Somebody give that poor man a fucking break. Or something.
John calls down to Atlantis. He hears nothing. Inside the shield, Weir can barely hear John because of the interference. The explosions fucked up the radio. John's like, don't scare me like that.
Says the man who flew into a wraith ship.
Exactly. And it's over. Daedalus is going to stay in orbit, send teams down to help clear out the few wraith that are in the city. And John's going to head back down to the city. In the shield control room, Weir radios to McKay to take the rest of the day off, and he literally lays down right where he was standing.
He's like, I sleep here. He's that meme. The little girl was like, I nap here.
Taylor's like, should I just tell the wraith that left the city that you're like napping?
Oh yeah. Oh no, I'm not playing your game. Thanks, bye. I'm not wearing my laser vest, so no thanks. I'm not here.
So he's like, yeah, you're right. And Taylor helps him up and they head off even though he doesn't have a weapon. So in the gate room, John...
Give him a sandwich. Somebody feed that man.
Something.
He can eat while running.
Yeah.
Give him a goddamn power bar.
So in the gate room, John beams into some more Marines and we pan around to see Weir and John meeting up after all of that. And Weir just embraces him for a hug. He's home. Their home is safe. And they both agree to stop doing things where the other person's going to assume that they're dead.
Of course. It's a very, to appeal to your sensibilities, it's very Vax and Vex.
Very Vax and Vex.
Yes.
Okay. Which makes me love, it's one of the reasons why I love their relationship.
Sure. Because
it is just one of those, like, they love each other, but clearly not in the romantic.
Love doesn't always have to be romantic.
I don't see them pulling a Chakotay and Janeway on the planet, left alone for a while. Yeah. Like, or you couldn't see it coming.
Jack and Sam.
Clearly not a Jack and Sam, no.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're very Vax and Vex.
Yes,
except
I like it.
A little less killy.
Meh.
A little less.
Just a little bit less.
Yeah. So.
Also, Weir needs to have a bear.
Weir should have a bear.
Can we get her a pet? Can we get Atlantis pets?
That'd be great.
We need pets on Atlantis. There's going to be some great, like, alien, like, horse dogs.
Horse dogs?
I want a horse dog.
I don't know what a horse dog would do in the city.
It's like a dog, but it's as tall as a horse.
Okay.
So it's basically Great Dane. But cool.
Or like an Irish wolfhound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also they have like claw attacks. And maybe a unicorn horn.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
And some of them can swim really well.
Well, I mean, they're in the ocean.
It is Atlantis.
It is Atlantis.
Yeah. Maybe they come out of the ocean, but they happen to be fuzzy like dogs.
They're just narwhals.
They're just giant otters with like an otter
Oh my god.
and a narwhal
Oh my god.
and a baby. I love this so
A
much.
Una otter.
I love an otter.
I want a
A
Una otter.
Write that down for the bond cards.
Una otter. Write that down.
Una otter. Got it.
Okay, so they have a few wraith left in the city to dispose of, but before John does anything, Colonel Everett wants to see him in the infirmary. So there, we find John giving an update to a very aged Caldwell. Not Caldwell. Everett. I literally wrote the wrong name down this entire paragraph.
I'm impressed that you remembered the right guy.
Says Caldwell. It's Everett. So his hand is shaking, and he wants to finish the conversation that they had started earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Everett owes John an apology.
Yeah.
John's like, no, you're fine, but Everett's like, no, I have a pretty good idea what happened now.
Yeah, I get it now. We're dumb.
I would have done the same thing if I saw Sumner in that position.
Yeah.
And with tears in his eyes, almost breaking, he says that he actually wished John had been there for him.
Uh-huh. A fate worse than death.
Kind of, yeah.
See, this is where it happens again.
Yeah.
Okay.
And John tries to brush it off. You're going to be fine when you get back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But Everett looks away.
Imagine going home to like your wife, he's probably what, in his late 50s?
Yeah, if that.
And now he's in his 80s.
How do you explain that?
How do you make that without you can't say what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can they even say that they went to space?
No.
How do you say that?
Just radiation.
They put me in a reverse hyperbaric chamber?
No clue.
I'm part of an experiment, and now my penis is blue? I don't know. I don't know. Seemed like the right color.
So Everett said what he needed to say, and he tells John to get back to work, and he does, but not before standing at attention and saluting Everett once before he goes.
I'll give Everett a lot of credit how quickly he came to this apology.
Yes.
There's something about this man that a lot of these guys are great, but we always tend to portray the military leaders as rigid.
Yes.
But it's important to know that people aren't successful in leading unless they have this ability to adapt and to change and to be flexible and understand what's needed.
It's just a different type of flexibility than we're used to as people who make pretty pictures for a living.
Sure. Well, it's just this way of being able to access feelings and still not to be vulnerable without being weak.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Zelenka explains to John and Weir that right now the count is around 40 casualties, maybe more. The last wraith is dead. He was trying to damage part of the city, but he's gone now, and they still can't find Ford.
Everything's fine.
They're like, he may have been beamed up, and John's like, let's not go there yet.
Mm-hmm.
How about we search outside the city? He's like, in the ocean? Why? He goes, you don't have to go out there and like rescue him yourself.
What if he's
just
riding
search.
A unit otter.
Exactly.
And he's like, this is great. I'm never going back to Atlantis.
Lo and behold, quick search of the scanner outside the city. There is Ford. So they ask Caldwell to beam him up and then back down to the infirmary.
Mm-hmm.
And when they do, good thing Carson has a couple SOs there already, because there is a dead wraith connected to an unconscious Ford on the ground in front of him.
Gross.
And then we see Ford in the infirmary. And Carson explained to John and Weir a couple hours later about his, status.
Things are super not great.
He totally should legit be dead right now. No human should survive hours upon hours face down in cold water.
Right.
So the wraith have this enzyme that they pump into their preys as they feed on them, and it basically makes the humans stronger, keeps their heart beating. So the wraith can feed on them longer.
Sure.
Because the feeding's so traumatic on human system, they might die too soon.
Right.
Awesome.
Oh, fate worse than death.
So normally it's a slow release formula. Carson's guessing that because the wraith died so suddenly, Ford's system was just like overwhelmed and flooded with this enzyme.
Yikes.
Which is why he survived based on the water.
Will fuck you up.
Yes. Now it's breaking down the system. Carson's fairly sure it's going to kill him because his body might already be dependent on it.
Yeah.
So they could try to wean him off of the enzyme, but they're going to need more enzyme to do that. And it's a bit creepy, but we have a bunch of dead wraith in the morgue.
We basically need to Tritonin some wraith. We need wraith Tritonin.
I'm just gonna juice them.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. This is all normal.
Meanwhile, McKay calls to Weir and John to control room like now. McKay should be getting sleep, but before he could get sleep, someone, Zelenka, went, hey, the long-range sensors are working again. There's 12 hive ships coming.
Yeah.
They're 36 hours away.
Give the man an hour nap.
Fuck.
This is not good times.
Meeting time. Caldwell has joined them now. They at least know, there's like minimum 60 hive ships in the galaxy. So in theory, all could be coming at some point. And
that's fine.
They have the shield, but that just kind of buys them time.
Right.
John's like, time's important in this case. McKay reminds them that the last siege of Atlantis lasted years.
Shit. Yeah.
With only one ZPM, they're not going to last years.
No.
And
they're probably going to last like a couple weeks.
Yeah. They can't just submerge a city. It's not a goddamn yo-yo. Plus, McKay has no clue how they did that in the first place. John is sick of waiting. John's sick of playing defense. He's like, we need to take this fight to them.
Yeah. He's like, we got to remind them that we're scrappy ass humans.
Caldwell's like, 12 high ships, 1 daedalus.
This is fine.
And John's like, no, but we're cooler than they are.
Yeah.
We're
going to get cool points.
Yeah, he wants to send a message that they aren't the ancients. They're not just going to sit here and wait. They're going to kick the wraith asses for a change.
Yeah.
So McKay has already calculated that they have one last stop to make before they get to Atlantis.
Okay.
And I do love this. In contrast to Everett, Caldwell's like, what do you want to do?
Right. Yeah, I mean, she's the boss here, and he's become very aware of that.
Yes. I just like...
You could almost give Everett credit for this, though, because he sees that Everett's, like, including her. Maybe that's part of it. You know what I mean? Who knows?
I don't know. I just liked that contrast that you had between these two colonels in back-to-back episodes.
I'll dig it.
That have sort of come in as the cavalry.
We're here to save you. How do you want to be saved?
So Daedalus shows up at where the Wraith are going to come and wait. Novak has the warheads prepped 1 second timer this time. Hermiod is still annoyed at all this and cursing under his breath. Taylor's in Weir's office. She can feel how fucking pissed the Wraith are.
Oh, yeah.
And at this point, it's not just wanting to get to Earth. At this point, there's also a bit on the Wraith side of like, they're worried that this word is going to get out because rebellions are built on hope.
Oh, yes.
At this point,
you didn't have enough Star Wars in this episode.
At this point, it's just as much about silencing Atlantis and making sure that, like,
yeah, that everybody remembers that the Wraith are the boss.
What their place is in this galaxy.
Know your role.
And Ford walks in reporting for duty. And we see his left eye is entirely black.
I love the things that Weir does where she, like, you catch her every now and then being grossed out by it.
Hard time looking at people in the eyes.
Okay.
Very, very few people.
Yeah.
You probably haven't noticed it because you're someone who I do, but very few people do I look them in the eye.
I'm also I'm an eye contact beast.
You are.
I will steal people's eye
You are,
contact.
but like I get that because I'm someone who I can count on probably both my hands the amount of people that I'm capable of looking them in the eye.
Yeah.
So I notice when someone in a TV show does it because obviously everything's all about eyeline and everything. So I noticed that when Weir is like, no.
She's like, I don't want to
look past him.
Well, and it's just like something is wrong. Something is not okay. This is a creepy thing. I don't like it.
Yeah. So she's like, did Carson release you?
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm fine. Why wouldn't?
You're not the doctor. It's like,
fine.
It reminds me of, I don't know if this is all dads or my dad. My dad once released, quote unquote, himself from the hospital.
I don't think my dad has, but
and we're like,
wouldn't be surprised.
What are you doing? He's like, I'm fine now. It's like, you're probably not though.
Mine wouldn't go in the first place.
Yeah. It was one of those where we kind of forced that. Yeah, my dad had a kidney stone, and we were like, "No, you have to go. This is not fine." Yeah.
So back on the data list, as soon as the hive ships come out of hyperspace, they start beaming the nukes onto them. Big bada boom!
Yike.
And then a second one goes boom. And then the other hive ships are like, something's going on. Who's this other ship over here? Let's go attack them. And space fight! So Caldwell calls down to them to speed up the bombing runs. But problem, the Wraith have found a way to prevent them from transporting. The Wraith have thrown up a counterspell. And Novak and Hermiod have no counterspells to counter the counterspell.
Yeah. They're going high level. This was the last of what we had.
Yeah. They've used their last spell
Yeah.
slot. That's high enough to
do the thing.
So meanwhile, their ships are draining, rail guns are going down, small fires are breaking out, the Wraith are trying to flank them. The big battle doesn't seem to be quite going in our favor. Another ship seems to be coming parallel to them. John's like, they're probably going to try to board us soon.
We should not be here. Yeah.
Shields are down to 20%, so Caldwell calls it. The fight is over, and they dodge and weave their way through the fight and hyperdrive their asses on out of there.
Yep. You got to know when to retreat. You got to know when to back the fuck out.
Know when to hold them.
Know when to run from them.
Hold them.
Know when to something.
Know
I can't
when
remember the song.
Bomb them with Asgard beamers. Okay. Back in the control room, Caldwell radio briefs them. Bottom line is it didn't work. He also doesn't think it's going to work again. That trick is spent.
Yeah.
They're not really paused. They kind of gave no shits about it. We just kind of pissed the hive off more.
Yeah. It's like trying to get rid of a wasp nest, but all you managed to do was kill a couple of wasps. Yikes.
And Daedalus has taken heavy damage. John's like, it was still the right thing to do. And they're like, yes.
Debatable.
This very well may be the hill that we die on, though.
But we will die fighting.
Exactly.
That's what we do.
Back on Atlantis, Weir wants options. McKay goes, well, you have a slow death, you have a quick death, you have a painful death, you have the cold, lonely death. And Ford stays uncomfortably close, asking what he can do.
It's just sad Ford. Sad Ford.
And then Carson's like, yo, punk.
Can you not be here?
Super weren't released from the infirmary, dude.
Get your ass back to bed.
And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. You should just drop it. I'm fine. And he's like, yeah, no, you were like almost bloody fucking dead 20 minutes ago.
You're definitely not okay. You definitely have weird, creepy face.
Should definitely be back in bed in the infirmary.
Yeah, you definitely have issues.
Ford tried to make his case to Weir instead. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
She's like, you should probably listen to Carson.
Yeah, Carson's the boss of you.
Carson goes to grab Ford's arm, and Ford snaps, turns, and lifts Carson by the throat up against the wall.
I hate this part
going,
so
don't
much.
Push me around, with like feral look in his face.
I really hate this part because poor Carson does not deserve this kind of treatment.
Carson never deserves this type of treatment. Taylor tries to talk Ford down, but the look in Ford's eyes is like a wild animal.
Oh, yeah.
Ford's not home.
No.
And slowly over time, Ford returns.
Yeah.
And gets control of himself. And he realizes what he just did. And is like, oh,
it's like a gold. It's like there's a gold in him. Oh, my God. This is how the gold started. There's a gold inside Ford. We're talking about how everything is cyclical. This galaxy hasn't seen gold because they haven't created it yet. And then Ford gets this weird thing from the Wraith, who's a bug, and then it becomes a gold. And now he's the first gold haver. And that's why his mind is trapped in the back, and the gold is the one talking. And then there's going to be more gold, and then the gold are going to take over, and they're going to kill all the Wraith, but then we're going to have all these gold, and then Earth.
Is that your prediction for the future of Atlantis?
Yes.
Okay. So he does agree to go back with Carson. Taylor leads him, and Weir aside tells a very still put off Carson to like sedate his ass if need be. He's like, yeah,
you don't have to tell me twice. Thanks, bye.
So next up, Ford does his best Toad from the original X-Men movie impersonation, and is quote unquote unconscious.
Okay, how often did you do that when you were little? Was it just me?
Oh,
Would you pretend to be asleep
every night.
so you could hear what the grown-ups were saying?
Well, mine was also one of those secrets that I'm pretty sure I thought I was getting away with. Pretty sure my parents knew exactly what's going on. Somehow, I don't know where it came from. My parents had, I think it was like a camp TV, but it was this little tiny, maybe 8 inches wide by like 4 inches tall, and it had a little like 3-inch by 3-inch black and white screen on it.
Yeah.
And you could put the antenna up and like pick up black and white network.
Did you watch like late night TV?
And I'd have the volume down really low. And then when I heard, because we kept all our doors open because the dog would visit us.
Oh, right.
Like, it didn't occur to me. Like, it never occurred to me to close the door because if I closed it, the dog couldn't come visit in the middle of the night. Yeah. Okay, so I would keep the volume down to the lowest one. And then when I heard them coming and you were near, I'd like turn it off and I'd put it under the bed and I'd be like asleep.
Play dead.
I just possum.
Mine was always in the morning. Like I'd hear them talking because when my parents were in a good mood on weekends and we were being buttholes, they'd be like, "Oh, do you want to take the kids for breakfast today? Maybe. Should we make them go to church though? What if we like don't tell them that we're gonna go to breakfast, and if they don't act like assholes about church, then I'll take them to breakfast." Yeah, that would be a good idea. Or we could just go to the flea market because our family loved the fucking flea market. My dad still goes to the flea market, and I'm still sad that I can't.
Can I just say we found a flea market? And we can totally go because Nick and I were like, we should go to the flea market.
I love.
We should totally go to the flea market.
Okay. I love flea market food.
Yeah,
it's almost like fair food.
It's like horrible, but good.
Yeah. So I would pretend to be asleep in the mornings. Like, and it's easier in the morning because it's just like, oh, don't move. And now I find that I do it so that the dogs don't wake up.
We slept in and were then woken up by the dogs because someone would sneak in the rooms and put peanut butter on our face. And then let me just tell you that the dog that we had at the time was about 120 pounds.
Oh, super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fine.
So you just
giant dog
were trapped
on face. Yeah.
by a dog laying completely on top of you. Getting all the peanut butter off your face.
That's what our Drakey does.
Yeah.
Like there's no peanut butter on your face.
Except we were woken up out of a dead sleep by that.
Yikes. Not fun. Where the hell were we?
All
right. Ford was pretend sleeping.
Ford was a toad. And he overhears Carson telling Weir and Dela that it's starting to affect his brain chemistry. And we hear like the super hearing, like distant sound. Carson plans in a really aggressive weaning off of the enzyme. It's going to be painful. It's going to fucking suck, but it's kind of the only option right now.
Yep.
He's sedated, and they have a guard at the door.
That'll be the only way.
And Weir goes off to meet with Daedalus, landing on the East Pier, and Ford closes his eyes playing possum. Weir welcomes John and Caldwell back to Atlantis. The landing was a surprise. It's really super fucking awesome landing scene.
Yeah.
Looks like they land on water. Sure. But until the repairs are complete, Daedalus is going to need the shields as much as Atlantis does.
The Daedalus means a long rest.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, I are tired.
So no rest for the wicked. They're called up to the control room. The hive ships are here. So the infirmary staff is distracted. The guard's back is turned. Ford springs up, takes something small and metal off the table, and fucking hurls it at the guard.
Here's the thing.
It's so painful looking.
No, and they saw the way that Ford reacted with Carson. I think it would have been smart to put more than one guard on the door.
Or like a legit guard just at the bed.
Or maybe put him down with soft restraints, anything.
Because the guard goes down hard.
Yeah. I think soft restraints are called for.
100%.
It would have taken him. He would have still gotten out, but it would have taken a little more time.
The guard would have heard it.
Would have hurt him. Yeah. Yikes.
Also, don't put him in the main room with everyone else.
Yeah, that's true.
And Ford takes the gun from the fallen guard and tells Carson to stay right there, or he'll shoot as he points the gun at Carson. And goes, "Where's the rest of the enzyme?"
And Carson so brave.
Denies there's any more, which Ford calls bullshit on. And Carson does not break
No.
Even after Ford takes a shot right next to Carson into the supplies.
He's so brave.
And he's like, well, you guys are just afraid of me now. And Carson's like, fucking duh.
No shit, son. Look at you.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah. Yikes.
And Ford's like, you know, I'm going to die without the enzyme. Carson's like, no, you're not going to die. And Ford yells him to shut up. And listen, Carson is not going to break with a gun pointed at his face.
Right.
But Ford is smart and knows that Carson will not abide Ford pointing the gun at one of his patients.
Yeah. Yeah. Carson would be like, you can point that thing at me all day. I'm fine. But the minute he pointed it at someone else, it's like, all right, fuck.
Yeah.
These are my patients.
And he goes and takes the enzyme out of the fridge and tosses it to Ford as he runs. In the control room, Chuck calls out that the Wraith are forming up, and then it rains down weapons fire.
They're
on the
in
shield.
formation because they're listening to Beyonce. And they're like, okay, ladies, now let's get in formation and kill these motherfucking humans. I don't know. There's more to the story.
McKay says the shield is holding, but it is under strain. And with this type of Wraith weapons fire raining down upon it, it's not going to hold forever.
Mm-hmm.
The stress is going to mean they have days until.
This is bad.
Sometime later, John and McKay are out watching the fireworks, which are, again,
it would be
disturbingly
so
beautiful.
romantic if it weren't.
It's like a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah.
So head to the conference room. Daedalus is going to need 24 hours. But they don't. I mean, what's the Daedalus going to do against the 10 hive ships that are left?
Yeah.
More 10 out. And John ponders, like, as long as they know that we're here, because that's Zelenka says it first. Atlantis is the path to Earth.
Yep.
And as long as they know we're here, they're going to keep coming.
Yep.
So John's like,
we're their number one target.
What if they thought we were gone? There'd be no reason for them to stay, Taylor thinks. Exactly. So what if we disappear, make it look like we destroyed the city?
Yes.
And McKay's brain clicks.
Yep.
What if we cloak the city? And Zelenka's at the same speed. They can use a cloaking generator from a jumper, and they can fake a self-destruct.
I love how closely linked their minds are
It's
now.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But they do set a self-destruct to cover the flip, beam a nuke right above the city, flip the cloak on when their sensors are blinded, and when the smoke clears, it's nothing but ocean.
Ta-da!
And I love how the writers do think about the displacement issue.
Yep.
Because, you'd see a Atlantis imprint. But, that's coplanar emulation. That's the easy part.
No big deal. Yeah.
It's just faking water cover on top of it. And Zelenka eye rolls because the hard part. What's that? Basically, you either cloak or you get a shield.
Yep. You can't have both.
That's the catch.
Yikes.
So if they weren't fooled by the cloak, they can still destroy the city. Which, I mean,
That's quite the gamble.
They were going to do that anyway. So.
That's true.
And if the plan fails, Daedalus is fast enough to run.
There's a good that's a really good plan. It's pretty solid.
So Taylor's going to help out by planting the idea in the Wraith Wi-Fi that they would rather destroy Atlantis than let it fall to the hands of the Wraith.
Some mindfuckery, which is actually should be easier than most things because it's not a lie.
It's not a lie.
Yeah, so she's just planting a truth.
Because they're like, if the Wraith think that we're about to throw the city, the last thing they want to do is help destroy the city.
Yep. Yeah.
They want the city intact. So we're ask the science bros how much time they'll need. And Zelenka is like a week. McKay says a couple hours.
Yeah.
And Weir takes McKay's estimate. McKay's like, what are you, union? Zelenka's like, oh, it's going to take a couple hours.
Well, it's like, what's the point of saying a week? Even if it took a week, we've got a couple of hours.
Well,
I
think
a couple of days.
I think the problem is, I think they were both snarking.
Yeah.
Because I think Zelenka was like, no, in a perfect world, this would take a week.
Right.
And then McKay was like, Yeah, we're really good. Couple hours tops.
We got it. It's done. It's done right now. I blinked. I did it.
And I also think that Zelenka was giving Scotty time, which I'm a fan of giving Scotty time.
Yeah,
and if you don't know the concept of Scotty time, if you have a task to do, you say it's going to need extra time. You can vouch double. That's cool. Because then you've even bought enough time to do it and at a leisurely pace to make sure it's done really well. Or you look like a really goddamn hero. If they need it in a hurry, you can get it done earlier.
What is it? Under something, over deliver. I can't remember what the word is. Like you underestimate, over deliver.
Under promise? That's not right.
No, I think you like underestimate, over deliver. So you underestimate your ability and you over deliver what you said would give.
So as they break, Carson runs up through the gate room, telling him Ford has escaped. He also has all the Wraith enzyme.
Yep.
So John calls out to Ford over the radio that, hey, buddy, we're going home.
Yeah.
Come on in. Kaylee just heard that. And
she's like, treats. I hear treats.
She literally, from a dead sleep, just popped up, full ears up.
I want to go home and have some treats.
You are
That's
home.
What they should have done. They should have given him some treats.
He's not a puppy.
They don't know what Ford treats could have been.
Ford is kind of a puppy.
Ford is a puppy. I'm not saying give him milk bones, but give him something he really wants.
Bacon.
Yeah.
So we see Ford somewhere in the city. He's just finishing loading up on Wraith enzyme. Well, Kaylee literally flops to the floor more than
or just be like, hey, bro, we found more enzyme, and then set a trap.
So Ford radios back that they're all just afraid of him, of what he can do, and he's not listening to John anymore, and he turns his radio off.
Dude, come on.
John is going after him, but as he runs, Weir's like, maybe this isn't the best time, or...
Yeah, this is not things.
So in a montage to tense music that almost sounds like Lord of the Rings for a second. Ba-da-ba, ba-da-ba-da. But the Science Bureau science, the injured load up on the data list. Ford stealths in the city while John stalks him with the Wraith scanner.
Everybody do the things.
And we get a beautiful night shot of the city from inside the dome with the dome lit up with
like,
all the
Wraith. Say goodbye to everything.
Kayla's about to deliver the message. Carson is done dealing with shit today. He's like, look, I'm going to pull you out of this at the slightest hint of shenanigans. I'm tired.
Yep, I'm done.
Weir's ready. Rodney's ready. Zelenka's ready. Caldwell's ready. Taylor's ready.
Everyone's ready. Let's do the thing.
Ford is still stealthing. John is right in his heels, hiding from him. Taylor taps into Wraith Wi-Fi. She can tune in fairly easily now.
Yep.
And we see Wraith Vision. Eventually, she sits up and wakes with a start, but the message had been delivered, she says, with determination and a little bit of a smirk on her face.
Boom. Get it, girl.
We see outside a shot of sunrise. This simply stunning shot. You can see sunrise through like the distortion of the shield, and slowly the bombardment stops. They notice in the control room and thinks like, no, we're definitely ready to go. And Weird goes on citywide, telling everyone to prepare for detonation.
Yep.
McKay has everyone shut down all the electronics. Everyone hide your faces and your eyeballs while McKay puts on his safety goggles. Hermiod beats the weapon out over the city shield. We see a massive explosion above the city. A terrifying mushroom cloud engulfs it. After the flash passes, McKay takes his glasses off. Everyone else lifts their head. McKay gets the computer up and running again.
This is where we hold our breath.
And waits. He needs a few seconds, otherwise the radiation is going to kill everyone, and this whole process will be moot.
It'll be a cow's opinion.
And on the data list, they wait to engage their engines. And the mushroom cloud is still lingering. McKay tells them that they're cloaked. And the ships, the Wraith, they're scanning them. He whispers. John confronts Ford, standing there in front of the transporter. He could have shot John a few times. John's, glad he didn't.
Yeah.
He tries to talk Ford down. We're trying to help you. Ford's not going to hear any of it.
Stop being a piece of shit. You're going to get us all killed.
Ford walks into the transporter. John shoots him in the back.
And nothing happens.
And he doesn't stop. And he just glares at John and you just fucking shot me in the back, dude.
He's immune to firepower, and now he's mad.
And he presses the button. Doors shut. He transports away. By the time John makes it to the transporter, the doors reopen. It's empty.
Oh, joy.
Back in the control room. They haven't been detected yet. McKay isn't sure why he's whispering. Just seems like the thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like when you're in subs, like in Home for Red October or something, and actually whispering there would give you away.
Right.
There's not sonar.
God.
Zelenka walks out to the jumper just then and gets fucking taken out One Punch Man style by Ford. That's gotta leave a mark.
That's gonna be not good times.
He grabs his bag, heads into the jumper, and the Stargate activates. And the jumper drops from the ceiling.
This is super great, especially when you're trying to be stealth.
And they have no idea if the Wraith can detect this. And McKay can't shut it down.
Nope.
And John heads to the front of the gate so he can see Ford's face through the windshield.
Yep.
And he gives him a direct order to stand down.
Not doing it.
And Ford looks at him and looks away and ignores him.
Yep.
And the jumper
piece of shit right now.
And the jumper heads to the gate. Now, here's one thing. Not that Ford is going to listen to Sheppard anyway. Never going to happen. But I almost don't know if Ford could have.
No, and when I'm calling Ford these things, I know it's not Ford.
No, but I'm talking on a mechanical end.
Oh.
Ford doesn't have the ATA gene.
That's true.
He can't fly the jumper. Basically, what the powers that be have said is that this scene, he was in the jumper bay and he dialed the Stargate. The jumper is on autopilot.
Oh, to just go through.
That's what I'm saying. Even if Ford was going to listen, I don't think that he could stop the jumper.
Right. It's going to get sucked through the Stargate anyway.
So I don't know what's going to happen on the side. If it's going to land on its own automatically, or it's just going to like sit there and hover, and then Ford's going to have to like jump out the back.
Right. Or do we know? And he doesn't have the vaccine.
He tried to have the ATA, but he's one of the people that didn't take.
That's right. That's right. He's got fancy wraith powers now.
Well, he can't fly the jumper.
Fly out the back.
That's what I'm saying. He can repel out the back, but you can't fly the jumper.
Yes.
And the Ford leaves and the gate shuts down.
Super fine.
And it doesn't really matter where he's going because he's going to get out and dial somewhere else. You could get like the jumper back, but Caldwell calls down that the Wraith are leaving orbit. Yes, they couldn't detect the open gate.
There's something.
McKay's going to leave the cloak up for a little bit to be sure, but they bought it. And Weird tells John that they will find him. And he's
find you.
And Weird's like, at least we're allowed to try. And John walks away. Weird walks away in the opposite direction.
A fate worse than death.
And the end shot that we see is the mushroom cloud dissipating, and we in sort of the hole we see open ocean, and then Atlantis shimmer back out of the cloak.
Thank God everyone's safe. I definitely thought Ford was gonna die. This is worse than Ford death. Because here's the thing. Whether he survives or dies now, it's still worse. If he survives, what kind of fucked up thing is he? It's not like his mind's going to magically come back with no one's help.
True.
Is he a new enemy now?
Don't know.
He's like a fallen angel.
Yeah.
Everything is cyclical.
Everything is cyclical.
Or if not, he dies somewhere out on his own, completely isolated from everything he's ever known and loved.
Yeah.
Thanks for this. This is awful. Let's go watch more awful things.
Well, here's the thing. We are not watching Atlantis today.
Not.
The next episode we are watching, which Grace gets to watch is and right after we're done recording here, is Stargate SG1. Season 9, Episode 1, and I've already told you and teased you for weeks with the title, Avalon.
This is the one where Daniel becomes Merlin.
Okay.
And now he has to raise up King Arthur to be the king that he is.
Okay.
Because a time traveler, because we all know that Merlin is a time traveler from the future, but lives his life in reverse.
That part we know.
So his name was Daniel, and now it's Merlin. And that's what happens because Daniel does not die. The end.
Daniel never dies.
Daniel cannot die.
I'm taking a drink.
This is tough. I I'm having such a hard time not binging these.
So
I've wanted to like trick Nixie into like recording 4 in a row so I can watch so many episodes.
So, but how do you think this is now the start of the second season?
Yeah.
We now have a ship.
Yep.
Now, here's the question.
Well, and we also have connection back to Earth.
We have some connection back to Earth because you have the ZPM.
Yeah.
You have to ration its power. You can open a Stargate back to Earth. We don't know how much energy it's going to take from the ZPM.
Right.
They can't send one back. You can radio communicate.
We got to find how to recharge the ZPMs.
And you have the Daedalus, which
can travel to Earth.
Well, it can travel to Earth back and forth in 4 days if it has the ZPM.
Yeah. God, ZPMs are like healing potions.
Yeah.
Like we just need to find more or find a way to repower them.
Well, I mean, that's literally what both shows have been doing for like seasons.
I'm expecting more crossovers.
Okay.
I want to see a Sam McKay reunion.
Okay.
Of sorts, if you will. Like, let's destroy a sun together.
Okay.
But I also, it'd be really cool to see what Weir and Daniel do.
Oh, that'd be an interesting combo.
Just because it's like, I am the person of all of the words person. It's like, no, I am all of the words person. I am a wordsy words person. He's like, yes, but I'm Merlin and I've died. And she's like, bitch, I went back in time and then died and then met myself. Now what? Actually, it'd be really cool to see those two stories.
Just over a drink.
Yeah. And it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
And then like Weir just marries him.
I like it.
And just like drinks him under the fucking table.
Yes. This needs to happen. And they both have whips. I don't know. This is my favorite part of Indiana Jones. This is cool.
Yes.
This is it's so open though. Nothing's wrapped up.
Nothing is wrapped up.
Okay. I can't wait to see what happens.
Okay.
But let's see what's going on with Daniel.
The first round, SG1. Okay.
Find us on Twitter at Terra Podcast.
Find us on Facebook, There's No Place Like Terra.
Email us at theresnoplaceliketerra@gmail.com.
Rate us, like us, review us.
And try to convince Nixie that she should let me watch like 4 episodes in a row.
That's not happening.
Okay. I love you guys. Bye.
Bye. Oh, my mouse is going all over the place. And the stream. Don't cross the streams.
Don't. And
you can do it.
And the streams. I gotta pee so bad.
That hurt.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that hurt my ears. It's why. And
is it doing a thing still?
It's still going.
I have to pee. I gotta go.
It's fine. And the stream. My computer is being